There are newer tractors in the fields today, bigger ones, faster ones, smarter ones, but there are still old machines that modern technology hasn't been able to replace, not because of horsepower or features, but because of trust, simplicity, and the way they made farmers feel at the end of a long day. These tractors didn't just work the land, they earned their place on it, season after season. Number 7, the Oliver 77. It's the late 1940s, and the land is tired. The war is over, but farms haven't rested, fields are larger than they used to be, help is scarce, and many farmers are still coaxing another season out of machines built before the Depression. In Charles City, Iowa, the Oliver Farm Equipment Company listens more than it speaks. They know the mood of the countryside, cautious, worn, hopeful, but not reckless. Before the Oliver 77, work was a compromise. Smaller tractors could cultivate, but they struggled when the soil got heavy. Bigger machines pulled well, but they were clumsy, thirsty, and often too much for a family farm to live with every day. Repairs were constant. Confidence was rare. A farmer never quite knew if tomorrow would be a full day's work, or a half-day lost to wrenching and waiting. When the 77 arrived, it didn't announce a revolution, it simply fit. Its 6-cylinder engine ran smoother than most farmers had ever felt, delivering steady power without the shaking fatigue of older designs. Around 40 horsepower wasn't about speed, it was about balance. The tractor pulled like it understood the weight behind it, not fighting the load, but carrying it, in a quiet way. It solved the problem of doing more without asking the farmer to gamble everything. Daily life changed in small but lasting ways. Longer passes across the field, implements that stayed in the ground instead of lifting when the soil turned stubborn, the engine's low, even sound became familiar, almost reassuring, a tone you could judge with your back turned. Steering felt honest, controls responded without argument. At the end of the day, you climbed down tired, but not worried. That kind of trust is rare, even now. Modern tractors promise efficiency, screens, and precision, but they still haven't replaced the feeling of knowing every sound a machine makes, or fixing a problem with hand tools in daylight. The Oliver 77 stayed useful because it stayed understandable. Parts could be reached, problems could be heard before they became failures. Farmers didn't just operate it, they lived alongside it, even as newer machines arrived. The 77 didn't disappear, it moved to second roles, then third, then back to the main job when something else broke. It asked for fuel, oil, and respect, and gave years in return. That relationship never went out of style. But the tractor coming next didn't just earn trust in the field, it reshaped what an everyday farm machine was supposed to be. Number 6, the Case SC. It's the early 1940s, and the countryside feels unsettled. War clouds hang over the nation, steel is rationed, labor is disappearing into uniforms, and farms are being asked to produce more with less. In Racine, Wisconsin, the J.I. Case Company works through the noise quietly, aware that farmers don't need promises right now. They need something that will start, pull, and keep going when replacements aren't an option. Before the Case SC, many farms lived on the edge of uncertainty. Older tractors were wearing thin, and breakdowns came at the worst moments. Parts were hard to find. Time was tighter than ever. A farmer could accept slow progress, but not failure. Every missed day meant crops that didn't wait, and seasons that didn't forgive. When the SC arrived, it didn't try to be clever, it focused on being dependable. Its 4-cylinder engine delivered solid, predictable power, not flashy numbers. Around 30 horsepower might sound modest now, but it was enough to do the work that mattered. Day after day, the tractor felt steady under load, with a deliberate pace that matched the rhythm of wartime farming. It quietly solved the problem of uncertainty by being consistent. Daily life shifted toward confidence. You planned fuller days because you trusted the machine to finish them. The engine note was firm and steady, without strain. The clutch engaged cleanly. The steering gave feedback instead of surprises. At night, the SC cooled beside the barn, ticking softly, as if reminding you it would be ready again in the morning. Modern tractors still struggle to replace that kind of simple assurance. As years passed and newer machines appeared, the SC refused to become obsolete. It stayed useful because it stayed simple. Farmers could service it themselves. They understood its moods, its sounds, its limits. Today's tractors may offer comfort and automation, but they rarely offer the deep, mechanical conversation between machine and operator. The Case SC earned its place by never asking to be more than it was. It carried farms through uncertain years and remained long after the uncertainty faded. That kind of usefulness doesn't age out of relevance. But the tractor coming next didn't just bring steadiness to the field, it helped define the sound and soul of American row crop farming. Number 5, the Allis-Chalmers WD. It's just after the war, and the fields are opening up again, farms are pushing outward, families are returning to routine, and there's a quiet hunger to make up for lost years. In West Allis, Wisconsin, the Allis-Chalmers Manufacturing Company understands that farmers don't want novelty, they want progress they can feel in the soil, not read about in a brochure. Before the WD, many tractors forced farmers into choices: you could have power, or you could have flexibility, but rarely both. Plowing was one machine, cultivating was another. Changing setups cost time, energy, and patience. Every transition slowed the day, and over a season, those lost minutes added up to lost confidence. When the WD arrived, it changed that rhythm without fanfare. Its engine delivered dependable power, but its real gift was versatility. With its snap coupler system and live power takeoff, work no longer stopped just because the tractor slowed. Implements stayed alive, momentum stayed with the farmer. It quietly solved the problem of interruption, turning long days into smoother ones. Daily farm life became more fluid. You felt the tractor working with you, not ahead of you or behind you. The engine had a sharp, purposeful sound, eager but controlled. Steering felt light for its size. The tractor responded quickly, almost intuitively. Modern machines still struggle to replace that direct connection, where your hands and feet felt every decision being made. As newer tractors grew larger and more complex, the WD stayed relevant by staying practical. Farmers could switch jobs without switching machines, repairs were straightforward, adjustments made sense. Even decades later, many WDs still show up to work, not as antiques, but as tools. Modern tractors may replace labor, but they haven't replaced that sense of cooperation between man and machine. The WD didn't just make farms faster, it made them smoother, and once a farmer experienced that, it was hard to go back. But the tractor coming next didn't just smooth out the workday, it carried reliability across oceans and generations. Number 4, the Massey Ferguson 135. It's the mid-1960s, and American farming is standing between two worlds. Fields are expanding, equipment is getting larger, and technology is moving faster than many farmers are comfortable with. On smaller family farms, there's unease. Bigger doesn't always mean better. In Detroit, Michigan, Massey Ferguson Incorporated understands that progress has to fit the farmer, not the other way around. Before the 135, many operators felt caught. Older tractors were dependable but tired, stretched beyond what they were built to do. Newer machines promised power, but brought complexity, cost, and a growing distance between farmer and machine. Repairs were becoming specialized. The fear wasn't change itself, it was losing control over your own work. When the 135 arrived, it felt familiar in the best possible way: compact, balanced, and steady. It delivered just enough power to handle real work without overwhelming the farm around it. Its engine ran smooth and confident, with a sound that settled into the day instead of dominating it. Diesel or gasoline, it quietly solved the problem of modern farming by staying human-scaled. Daily life gained a rhythm again. The tractor started easily, the clutch felt forgiving, steering was light, almost conversational. You could work close, precise rows in the morning and pull heavier implements in the afternoon without feeling like you were pushing your luck. Modern tractors still struggle to replace that sense of proportion, where power feels usable, not distant. As the years went on and technology surged ahead, the 135 refused to fade. Farmers kept it because they trusted it, they understood it. Maintenance stayed personal, not procedural. When something sounded off, you heard it. When something needed fixing, you fixed it. Today's machines may offer diagnostics, but they rarely offer that kind of awareness. The Massey Ferguson 135 earned its place by never asking the farmer to adapt to it. It adapted to the farm, season after season. That balance between old ways and new demands is something modern tractors still haven't fully replaced. But the tractor coming next didn't just bridge generations, it gave farmers a new kind of confidence at the drawbar. Number 3, the John Deere A. It's the mid-1930s, and the country is holding its breath. The Depression has stripped farms down to essentials, cash is scarce, help is scarcer, and every decision carries weight. In Waterloo, Iowa, the Deere & Company factories keep their doors open with one question in mind: how does a farmer survive another year with what little he has? Before the John Deere A, many farms lived on the edge of exhaustion. Horses still carried much of the load, wearing out just as men did. Early tractors existed, but they were expensive, complicated, or too light for real field work. A breakdown wasn't just inconvenient, it could mean a missed planting window and a year you never recovered from. When the A appeared, it didn't look fast, and it didn't sound refined. Its two-cylinder engine spoke in slow, deliberate pulses, pop, 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 each one heavy with torque. It wasn't built to hurry, it was built to endure. That engine could pull when the soil was damp and stubborn, and it could keep pulling without complaint. Quietly, it solved the problem of trust. You didn't wonder if it could handle the work, you knew. Daily farm life shifted towards certainty, bigger plows stayed in the ground. Belt work ran steady for hours. The tractor's long stroke and low RPM created a rhythm that matched the day itself. You felt it through the seat, through the steering wheel, through the soles of your boots. Modern tractors still struggle to replace that physical conversation between machine and operator. As decades passed and technology advanced, the A refused to disappear. Farmers kept them because they could fix them, because they understood them, because the sound of that engine told you everything you needed to know. Modern machines may be quieter, faster, and more precise, but they rarely speak as clearly to the person driving them. The John Deere A didn't just help farms survive hard times, it taught farmers what dependable power felt like, and once you learned that lesson, you didn't forget it. But the tractor coming next didn't just earn trust through sound and strength, it brought that trust within reach of nearly every American farm. Number 2, the Ford 8N. It's the late 1940s, and the countryside is trying to settle into peace. Soldiers are coming home, farms are reorganizing, many families are starting over with worn land and limited cash, but renewed determination. In Dearborn, Michigan, the Ford Motor Company understands something simple and powerful. Most farmers don't need the biggest tractor on the road, they need one they can afford, understand, and rely on without fear. Before the 8N, progress often felt out of reach. Tractors were expensive, complicated, or sized for operations larger than the family farm. Some farmers still depended on horses, not out of tradition, but necessity. The risk of buying the wrong machine, or one that broke down at the wrong time, kept many from stepping forward at all. When the Ford 8N arrived, it quietly lowered that barrier. It wasn't intimidating, it wasn't excessive. With its 4-cylinder engine and improved hydraulics, it delivered honest power match to real farm needs. The 3-point hitch wasn't about innovation for its own sake, it solved a daily problem, making implements easier, safer, and faster to use. In one move, it gave farmers control back. Daily life changed almost immediately. Hooking up equipment became routine instead of a chore. The tractor felt balanced and sure-footed. The engine had a steady, reassuring tone that told you it was working within itself. You could cultivate, mow, grade, and haul without switching machines or second-guessing your choices. Modern tractors still struggle to replace that sense of accessibility, where capability doesn't come with complexity. As years passed and machines grew larger and more specialized, the 8N stayed. It moved to smaller fields, backup roles, and chores close to the barn. Farmers kept it because they trusted it, because they could fix it, because it never asked for more than it gave. Touch screens and sensors may guide modern tractors, but they can't replace the deep familiarity built from years of shared work. The Ford 8N didn't just mechanize farms, it democratized confidence. It made modern farming feel possible, not overwhelming, and that feeling of being capable, not dependent, has never been replaced. But the tractor coming next didn't just make farming accessible, it proved that raw strength and versatility could live in the same machine. Number 1, the Farmall M. It's 1939, and the country stands on the edge of change. Storm clouds gather overseas, but here at home, American farms are already fighting their own battles. Fields are growing larger, horses are reaching their limits, smaller tractors can't always finish the job. In Rock Island, Illinois, the International Harvester knows farmers aren't asking for comfort or convenience, they're asking for strength they can depend on. Before the Farmall M, many farms lived with uncertainty built into every season. Tractors were either too light to handle heavy tillage or too specialized to be trusted for everything else. Farmers compensated with extra passes, extra machines, or extra risk. When weather closed in, those limits became expensive. Power wasn't just about speed anymore, it was about survival. When the Farmall M arrived, it changed expectations without raising its voice. Its larger 4-cylinder engine delivered deep, steady torque, the kind you felt before you measured it. This wasn't a tractor meant to dance across the field, it was built to lean into the soil and stay there. Adjustable wheel spacing, strong drawbar pull, and dependable belt power quietly solved the problem farmers had lived with for years, needing one tractor that could truly handle a full day's work. Daily farm life grew heavier and more confident. Bigger plows stayed in the ground, longer days became possible without fear of pushing too far, the engine sound was low and authoritative, a steady presence that carried across the field, you felt the weight through the seat and steering, not as strain, but as assurance. Modern tractors still struggle to replace that feeling of raw, honest connection between power and purpose. As decades passed and machines grew more complex, the Farmall M refused to leave. It stayed because it could be understood, fixed with hand tools, trusted without electronics. Farmers knew its moods by sound and vibration. Today's tractors may offer precision and automation, but they rarely offer that same sense of partnership, the feeling that the machine is working with you, not managing you. This is why modern tractors still haven't replaced these 7 machines, not because they lack technology, but because they lack something deeper. These old tractors earned trust slowly, through seasons of work, failure, repair, and return. They became part of the farm itself, and that's why they're still remembered, not as relics of the past, but as standards the future still hasn't fully matched. Modern tractors will keep getting bigger, faster, and more advanced, but these 7 machines remind us that progress isn't always about what's new, it's about what lasts. They were built in a time when farmers couldn't afford excuses, only results, when a tractor had to start in the cold, pull through the hard spots, and still be there the next morning. Their strength wasn't measured in numbers, but in seasons survived and work finished. These tractors earned trust the slow way, through honest design, simple mechanics, and years of shared labor. They became part of the farm, part of the routine, and part of the family story. That's why, even today, modern machines still haven't replaced them. Because you can upgrade technology, but you can't replace character. If one of these tractors was part of your farm, or still is, share your story in the comments. And if you believe the best machines are the ones that never quit, consider subscribing for more stories like this.